You are now listening to How to Sell Yourself the Right Way, written and narrated by Dre Baldwin. Copyright 2019, Work on Your Game, Incorporated. What's going on, everybody? This is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Welcome to the Work on Your Game podcast, where I help you with bulletproofing your mindset, selling, branding, marketing, promoting yourself, and making things happen in your life instead of being a victim of things happening to you. And in today's episode, we want to talk about selling yourself. And selling yourself is something that I learned a long time ago, and I'm going to tell you how I learned that. But first of all, let's get into what exactly is selling yourself and why exactly does this matter? Why do I make this one of the three main points of the content that I put out on this podcast, selling yourself? Understand that selling yourself is just your ability to get your ideas, the things that you want, the things that you need, the things that you're after in life, be able to get those ideas out and get some action behind them. Action meaning get someone else to pay for a project that you're putting together. Get someone else to pay for a service that you're offering. Get somebody else to pay attention to some content that you're putting out. Get somebody else to agree with your point of view. Selling yourself could be as simple as getting yourself a job. Because if your point of view is, I want this job, and the manager's point of view is, I'm not sure, but then you're able to get the manager to change their point of view to, I want to hire you, then guess what? You just sold yourself. If you see a girl that you like and she's not aware that you exist because she's on the other side of the room with her back to you, but you see her and you go over to her, you start a conversation, and maybe 3 months later, she's a girlfriend, guess what? You sold yourself to her. You sold yourself on the idea. If you go to WordPress.com or WordPress.org, whatever it is, and you start blogging, and only people who look at your blog are your mom and your sister, but then 3 weeks later you have 5 views because 3 other people stumbled across it and they read it and maybe they share it and tell somebody else about it, and 3 years later you got 500 views on your post. Guess what? You sold yourself. So selling yourself is not some complicated thing. That's the number one thing I want people to understand. Number two thing you got to understand is selling yourself is imperative in life. Anybody you know who is successful, any highly successful individual you know, I guarantee you they're really good at selling themselves. You think of any person you know who is really successful or even that you know of. Think of your favorite celebrity. Is Kim Kardashian good at selling herself? Absolutely. She sold a lot of people on a lot of ideas that at least got them to the point of following her, of downloading her app, of following her Instagram posts or following her tweets or watching her reality show. A lot of people are sold on the idea of Kim Kardashian. And who sold them? She did. Now, there are other people who are involved, but guess what? What are they all selling? They're all selling Kim. Your favorite musical artist, if you bought their album or you downloaded it and streamed it or you went to their show or you bought their t-shirt or you go around repeating something they said in one of their songs or on their Snapchat or Instagram, guess what? They sold you on the idea. So everybody sells. And if you think of the most successful person you know, think of the most successful person that you know who you can actually contact. Let's put it that way. The most successful person you can get in touch with, be it via email, text message, phone call, whomever that person is, reach out to them and ask them, how important is it to be able to sell yourself? And they will tell you how important it is to sell yourself, because what I'm telling you, I guarantee you that the most successful person you know is probably better at selling themselves than the third most successful person. And that third most successful person is better at selling themselves than the fourth most successful person. So your ability to sell yourself is in direct proportion to the level of success you're going to achieve in life. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, it's not all about me. I want to help other people. I want other people to succeed too. Well, understand this. In order for you to help other people succeed, first of all, you got to have something that you can help them with. See, if you're going to help another person succeed, that means you need to have some energy, you need to have some time, you need to have some attention, you need to have some power, you need some influence, you're probably going to need some money. And the only way you're going to get those things is by selling yourself. If you need to get more time, you got to sell somebody on the idea of working for you for $20 an hour. If you need to get more money, you got to sell somebody on the idea of buying your program for $99 a month. If you want to have more energy, you got to sell somebody an idea of doing work for you that you don't want to do for yourself in exchange for some resource that you're going to give them. So everything that you do in life is a sale. Every single one of us is a salesperson. Now, either you're a good salesperson or you're a bad salesperson. Now, you may be a person listening to this right now who says to yourself, well, I'm not into sales. I hate sales. I don't want to do anything that has anything to do with sales. I've never been good at sales. Any job or any business, any kind of selling that's involved, I'm not interested, Dre. Well, what you have to understand is that you're already in the selling business. So if you're a type of person who says you hate sales or you're not good at sales or you don't want to do anything that has to do with sales, then guess what? You're already in the business.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?